Hello everyone, welcome to my live. Thank you for joining me. My name is Rodrick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. And I like to go live on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time and share fun projects with you. I'm super excited about this week's projects. We're going to be doing Easter. And the products from Stampin' Up! Are just so cute. They're so fun to work with. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We'll make 3 cards. One of them's a fun fold. Actually, 2 technically are fun folds. And we're going to do a treat box. So that should be fun. All right, let me see, make sure that I'm coming up here. It used to be so easy, but now I have to actually go to my page to pull myself up. And let's see, are we there? Yes, we are. All right, how's everybody doing? Hi, Roz. It's beautiful here in San Antonio today, gorgeous. When I was driving home from work, it was 88 and sunny, just perfect out. So that was super, super nice. I love when we have a good day. It's just, I feel like it's summer here now already, but we'll see. We're supposed to get rain later this week. All right, I hope y'all are having a good week. I'm gonna flip around right away, tell you about a couple of things, and then let's get crafting right away. Did y'all notice? Look, I've got my little, I just got this sweatshirt. It's got little bunnies on it for Easter. I found it at Cato online, and I just thought it was so cute, so I had to get it. All right, let's get situated here. I'm going to push us down. Hopefully not too close. I might be a little close. And pull us over just a little bit. All right, how's that look? I think that's pretty good. All right, hi Renee, how are you? All right, you guys, so Tuesdays, we always say there's a lot of stuff happening on Tuesdays, right? So here we are on a Tuesday. I'm gonna pull this down just a little bit because I feel like it's still a little too close. And I just lost my shim, so I feel like I'm a little crooked here. Okay, I don't know if that's any better, but, oh, you know what? I don't wanna be down that far, I wanna be up. Okay, hold on, hold please. I'm getting it together. Okay. All right, you guys. So Tuesdays, yes, Stampin' Up. That's when all the announcements come up. So product of the month. What do you guys think about this new product of the month that you could order starting today? Notes of Spring stamp set. Some really cute little figures on here. I think they're adorable. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Couple new kits that came out today. There are 3 new things that came out. Every Little Thing kit. So we've got a little card kit. This one is $21. Kind of springy. We have this Radiant Reminders kit, and it looks like you can put a little frame. And then this coordinates with the next thing, and that is Standing Clipboard Trio. So these are 3 little clipboards with stands that you can display things on, pictures, cards, whatever you want. So that's kind of fun too. And I like the color of it. So here's a different picture too, so you can see. It looks to me like they're different sizes, and they have the back there. So that's kind of fun to display some things on. I'm excited about this little kit. Hi, Lisa. And don't forget, the new online exclusives started today. So if you're a customer, you have access to them now. As a demonstrator, we've had a little bit of time to look at them and you know, get excited because there's a lot of cute things. So check out the online exclusives. Also, we talked about this last week a little bit, that there's going to be new catalogs now. We're going to get catalogs 3 times a year, and it's combining the mini catalog with the annual catalog. So it's going to be nice, especially like, I'm excited about it because right now when I'm doing my classes and I'm doing measurements and looking up order numbers, I'm going out of 2 catalogs plus the online exclusives. It's a lot. So to have things down to 1 catalog is really exciting for me. And then we have the new in colors that were introduced this week. Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, and Hydrangea Hue. So they're nice. They're nice, like light pastel colors. So I think those are going to be fun. And you can see the new stamp pads, right? The new magnetic stamp pads that are coming out. So a lot of exciting things going on right now. Today, we're going to work out of this catalog right here. So this is the January to April mini. we're going to be using this set right here. So this is the Easter Joy Suite collection, and there's lots of fun stuff in here. So you have the bundle, so you have stamps and dies. We've got this really beautiful ribbon. We're going to use some of this tonight. These embellishments are so cute. They got the little Easter egg and the dots. I didn't end up using them with my stuff because they were just kind of out of scale for what I was doing. So they're cute. I have them, but I didn't use them. You have a different specialty paper here called Pleasant Patterns, which I also didn't use. But this, even this green would have been great for a St. Patrick's Day project. And then I'll show you this paper as we get going. This is really beautiful DSP. Here's some projects in the catalog. And I use a lot of stuff when I'm doing, as far as stamps and dies, but I didn't use these dies. Look at these cute little daffodil dies. So now I want to go back and make another card, right? Because I didn't get to use these, so that's fun. And I just feel like these bunnies are just so darn cute. Here's some more projects. Here's some cards here. These are made with the backgrounds with just the paper, and I'll show you that. A little stand-up Easter basket. Isn't that fun? I guess we could have done that tonight instead of the box that I made. And then look at this. They did with the paper, they made like little Easter eggs and put it in a little egg carton with some grass. Isn't that cute? So lots of fun things. I love these kind of bright pastelish colors. They're just bright and fun and springy. So yeah, I just really like this set. I was excited to start to play with it. So let me show you the projects we're going to make tonight. So we're going to do this Easter is on its way card. And this is just going to open from the bottom like this, with the cute little bunnies. We're going to do this little Z-fold card, and it's just Happy Easter with an Easter basket. I think that one's fun. Look at me using Shy Shamrock. I never use that color. We're going to do this little pop-up card, and it just says Easter's on its way, and you can have your little Easter basket sitting up like that. So that's a fun card we're going to make. And then you guys have seen this box before, right? Yes, I wimped out and just repeated and did a box. But I'll show you a little bit later the treat that's in there. And just a cute little, like, keep it simple, keep it easy, make a lot of them, give them to everybody, right? So that's kind of the plan for that. Okay, let's get started on our first card. All right, everybody doing okay? All right, Easter is on its way. Now, the thing about this set is there's a lot of die cutting and a lot of stamping and die cutting. But I think it's worth it because it's fun and it's just really cute. The Easter basket we're going to do in about 3 different ways. So let me start by showing you. This is the stamp set and the die set. Look at these beautiful dies. I mean, who doesn't need an Easter basket die forever? A little bit of Easter grass. These are the little strips that we're going to weave into here in a couple different ways. These are the dies I was telling you about that I didn't use, but they're awfully cute to go ahead and make the daffodils, right? And then all the other, all the other ones to cut things out. All right. In addition, the first card, we're going to use a couple of other die sets. This one, Stylish Shapes dies, which I use all the time. We're going to use this one right here and this one right here to make our label. And then one of my favorites, and you guys, this is on Last Chance. These are the Textured Notes dies. So we're going to use this one right here that's almost like a little bamboo pattern. Okay. All right. So when I get ready for my classes, I like to do a lot of stuff in advance. It saves us time. I don't have to, stamp and color and die cut everything in front of you. We can just kind of move things along. So what I did last night when I was preparing for this class was I just did all the stamping and die cutting at the same time. So you can see my chicken scratch here, but I'm sharing it in case you want to do the same thing. So I ended up doing 1 pink bunny, 4 blue bunnies, 8 Easter eggs, 6 bunches of flowers, 1 chocolate bunny, 2 of the carrots, 1 of the little chicks, and 3 of the tulips. So I don't know if that helps at all, but if you're going to make all 4 of these cards, just do it and then you'll be all set. I colored everything pretty much the same. So every pink bunny I colored the same. The only thing I switched up was the bunches of flowers. I still use the same colors, but sometimes I switched up the pretty in pink and the peach pie. But otherwise, I colored absolutely everything the same just to keep things simple, keep it easy. All right, here are the pieces for our first card. Because there's a lot of die cutting, there's a lot of pieces. All right, so we're gonna start. I always put the piece behind. If you get the kits from me, I always put the piece behind that we're gonna do stamping and die cutting on, so we'll put that aside. Next we have our card base, and this is half a sheet of cardstock. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So this will be our card base that we're working off of. This is going to be the inside standard 5 1/4 by 4, and we have a little strip of this DSP. Let's talk about the DSP for a minute because it's so pretty. It's Easter Joy DSP. And let me show you the pattern. So there's 6 different patterns with this. This is the one, when I opened the pack, I think this was the first one on the sheet, and I'm like, okay, I'm using that. I didn't even look at the others yet because it was just so darn pretty and cute. So that's why I did the first card with this one. This one I didn't have an opportunity to use, but I love it with the colors and the stripes. And this paper is really special because it's thick. It's thicker than regular cardstock. It's kind of, it's got a nice sheen to it, and it's also gold foiled. So this is really special paper. Then we have this little cute little pattern. This is special because you can just cut these out, and now you have 6 backgrounds for cards, and it comes with 2 of each sheets of these. So you could whip up 12 Easter cards in a flash just by using these backgrounds right here. And at the end, I'll show you a card I made with one of these backgrounds. This one, very pretty with the tulips and the daffodils. And then Easter eggs, just all Easter eggs. I love it. On the back side, you have more of a regular cardstock flat pattern, right? So this is not shiny. It's not foiled. It's just kind of a plain paper. But really nice designs. We're going to use this one to make an Easter basket out of. I love this one, this beautiful gingham. I haven't used it yet for this side, but it's awesome. So this is our paper. I think it's just gorgeous. So on the front layer of our card, we're going to have this 5 1/4 by 4 sheet. Let me put this aside from the inside. So this is going to be our first layer right here. Next, I have this piece of peach pie, and some of these colors are retiring soon, right, in May, because they're the in colors from 24 to 26. So they're going to start selling out soon. I just stocked up on a little bit of extra to have them because I just loved some of these colors from this in color collection, especially the peach pie and the pretty and pink. Just love, love, love them. So using that die that I talked about, this is the peach pie. So inside, the inside layer, I went with a lemon lolly. And that's just going to go out inside. And the size of the lemon lolly is 3 inches by 2 inches. It fits in there just perfectly. So this will be another layer that we have over here. Okay. These pieces ready to die cut. Okay, so let me lay these out and just show you quickly what we've done. These are the Stylish Shapes dies that I already showed you. So we're going to stamp on that. This we're going to cut and put as the background for that. So look at, we have these 6 different pieces that you're going to die cut. So let me get out the dies and kind of show you which ones we're going to do. So what I recommend is if you have bigger pieces like this one right here, let's start with the peach pie. You want to use, we're going to do the little basket weaving stripes. So put one of these on, okay? And then do one of these. This is going to be kind of the basket liner, this little scalloped piece. And then also do a bow. Just do a bow in every color, all right? So we're going to do a bow. We're going to use this on a different card. But you could do the same thing with the pink. So you have a pink bow for later. And then this one, again, I just did the stripes, the little stripe things. And this one, I just needed to do the Easter grass. This can actually fit 2 Easter grass on it. All right. So that's the die cutting that we're going to do. Let's do stamping. Oh, now I don't know where I got all these little pieces from. Let's do our stamping and coloring. And then we'll pull out all the pieces that I've pre-done. Okay. This is going to say Easter's on its way. And I'm just trying to find a place to put these other things. I did all my stamping in Memento. I just like the look of it. And because I was doing a lot of coloring, I did that. So here's Easter's on its way. And we're just going to do that right on our label. Okay, so we've got that. All right, so we've got one of each bunny, one this way on the outside, then we're going to do the other one on the inside. All right, so we need 2 bunnies, one of each. Make sure I can fit all these on my 5 1/4 by 4 sheet. I'm going to get them kind of close together, but I want to leave enough of a borders to still be able to cut them out. All right, I'm gonna do 2 of the flower bunch. Aren't these cute? So let's do 1 here. We'll do 1 up here. So 2 of the flower bunches. I need a carrot. I think I need 2 carrots. So let's do 2 carrots. And I need 2 Easter eggs. So you can see why you might want to do everything at once and just color it at once, because you're just going to be using the same colors for everything. And to me, I just wanted to keep the coloring super simple too. Just keeping it nice and easy. So I like to outline my bunnies, right? So I'm going to start with my light, pretty, and pink. And I just want to outline the bunny. You can color your bunny if you want, but I wanted to just keep them white. I'm going to color the inside of the ears pretty in pink and the little noses. So let me do this right here. And I'm not going to outline the ear, but I'm just going to go around here. And the arms are very small too, so I'm just going to be careful when I'm doing the outline and just do like a little piece of the arms. Now you don't have to do this. You can just leave it white if you want to, but I just think it adds something and kind of ties in the color a little bit to the card. I mean, who doesn't love a pink bunny, right? Okay, so that's pink. We're going to do one of our flowers. I'm going to do a pink one here. Okay, so I've got one of those colors. And then the eggs, like I said, I did all the eggs the same too. And you can see this is just super easy, simple coloring. It doesn't take long to do this. We're not doing any fancy shading or anything like that. And I think I got all the pretty in pink. Let's go to the peach pie next. And this is dark peach pie. And so I'm going to do the carrots in the dark peach pie. And this one, if you want to shade the lines a little bit, you can. It might just add a little something. So I'm just going to put a second layer on every other stripe on the carrots. All right, I'm going to do the Easter eggs. And I'm going to do some of the flowers. And I forgot to do one of these flowers in pretty in pink. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. And this may not be what we end up with the ones I die cut already, but we'll see. Super easy. I'm leaving the middles white. You can fill them in with a color if you want to. Let's do the other bunny now. So this is light balmy blue, and I'm just going to outline again. Might be the only one I have to show you the coloring of, because like I said, I just colored them all the same. So the only ones that aren't on here right now are the tulips and the little chick. I think those are the only ones not on this card. Okay, I'm going to do the top and the bottom in balmy blue of my egg. Whoops. Whoa. I just said I colored them all the same. All right, let's get out some lemon lolly, and this is dark lemon lolly. And so I'm going by the colors that are in the designer series paper. Whenever you use a suite, it's really nice when you have the designer series paper, because you can just use the colors that are in there. It makes things nice and simple. Now I've got a little green going on in here with the mixture of my blue and my lemon lolly. It still looks fine. Okay, going back to the pink flower that I missed. So you can see this goes by really quickly, super fast. The last thing I have to do is add some of this dark shy shamrock. And I'm just filling in the leaves on both. Hopefully trying to stay in the lines, and then just adding a little bit to the carrot tops. So, not staying in the lines at all. Come on. Trying to hurry. Okay. I think that's it for our coloring. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay. Super easy, right? All right, let's cut this stuff out. Let me see where I put, hold on, I've got a mess here. I have to figure out how I did this and where my first one is. This is the first one. Okay. All right, so here's all the things that match right here. This is the grass that we cut out. These are the little strips. I just kept the ones that I need. So I've got one of each color: Lemon Lolly, Balmy Blue, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink. So we've got 4 of those for our Easter basket. I cut out of the crumb cake. Did I have a crumb cake piece in there? Hold on, I want to make sure I did that right. I did, okay. The Easter basket. So you can see how this cuts out. Really pretty. Got the slots already die cut for you in the dies. So isn't that nice? You don't have to weave anything in if you don't want to, but you can. And this was just the other piece that I cut. Oh no, yeah, maybe this is a label for something else. I'm putting that aside. All right, so we've got all our pieces. I think we can start assembling. That's pretty easy, right, to get assembled here. Let me put this aside. So let's start with our layers. When I have something that's kind of, you can see because this is so thick and archy, I'm putting extra adhesive. Then I'm just going to center it on the front of my card. Now we'll start building off the other piece and then pop it up when we're finished. So I'm just going to take this and the Lemon Lolly and put that on right here. And then we'll start putting our basket together. Now we're going to do some of the basket first. So I'm going to start with the weaving. Now, there's several ways you can do this. And this way, I'm not weaving in and out and in and out. I'm just putting them through, okay? And that's just a pretty easy way to do it if you like the look of it. If you don't, you can weave it back and forth. And we're going to do that on a different card. But I started out just nice and easy for the first one. I'm just going to kind of slide this up. And we'll just put all 4 pieces in here. So if, you know, we said at the beginning, and I'm just doing on the same, I'm not changing at all, just doing the same lines. If you do all the die cutting at once, you're going to have like 5 or 6 pieces of each little color ribbon that goes through here. And if you do all your stamping and die cutting too, you'll have, once you get all that stuff done, then you can just play and assemble and do them all. I had a pile of stuff when I was working that I already stamped and die cut, and it was just easy to start picking from the things that I had. Now you can see they're slidey, so I'm going to glue them down in a second. Let me just get this last one in, and then we'll trim off the ends too. You can see that they're longer than they need to be. Whoops. Now it's easier towards the middle, and then you can kind of place them, position them where you want them. So let's get some glue started. I never cover my glue. Do you guys cover your glue ever? I never ever do it unless I'm going someplace and I'm taking it with, then I cover it. I have some bad stamping habits. I'm going to admit it right here. So I'm just going to add a dot of glue at the end. And, you know, before I start messing up my desk, let me get out my silicone sheet. Before I start getting little bits of glue all over the place. And so we can now just position, add a dot of glue. You guys come down. I don't know what to get my grandkids for Easter. It's really hard. Because I don't want to just get them, I don't know. Obviously, I mean, living far away from them, I'm not going to do like Easter baskets and send them because it just doesn't ship well and all that kind of good stuff. So I kind of, and I don't want to just get them stuffed bunnies, like, because they've got a million stuffed animals already. So I don't know what to get them for Easter. And I will be seeing them right before Easter. I think the weekend before. Emily's having a birthday, so I'm just going to go in for the weekend, like on a Thursday night, be there Friday. And for the weekend, and we're going to go, her birthday is actually that Thursday when I'm coming in, her real birthday, because she's going to have a couple parties before that. And we're going to go to the American Girl store downtown in Chicago on Friday and do a tea party there, so that's exciting and fun. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Let me just make sure these are pressed down a little bit. Books and candy. Yeah, books are always a good idea, right? I love books, and I think the kids just really love books too. Oh yeah, Renee says you put a pin in it to keep it from clogging. All right, so let's cut these off from the back. All right, there is our basket. I'll move this aside for now. Okay, so before we put it down, let's arrange things a little bit. So this is easy. We can just put a little bit of glue on this front part, and then we'll put the grass on the back part. Easter grass. Easter grass, gotta love it, right? You find it in weird places for months after Easter. It's kind of like Christmas tree needles. They just show, okay, I just did the wrong side of that, but I don't think it matters. I'm gonna use it on the wrong side. Looks fine. I mean, I could have kept it with the glue on the other side because we're gonna glue some of this other stuff too. So let's start by arranging some flowers. And I want these kind of high. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue to the bottom. Get out my tweezers to start helping me. So we're gonna put one right here. Let's get another one. And this one, I guess I did two peach flowers at the top, so these are exactly the same. Ugh, I did the wrong side again. You guys, what's wrong with me? Doesn't matter, it's all gonna get stuck down. So I think I wanted that over a little bit. So we've got our flowers in the basket sticking up. Now we're gonna add some Easter eggs. Almost did it again. I'm so used to gluing the back of everything that it's hard to remember. And I guess I'm gonna add a little bit to the back of this one too. So once we build our little like collage on here, we're gonna be good. Let's do another egg. And I'll do a little bit here and a little bit on this side. Put that one where we want it. And then we're gonna do a little carrot action too. So let's get one of these carrots. And just on the tip and on the back. Probably somehow doing this the hard way, but that's okay. All right, there we go. There is our cute little basket. All right, so I'm just gonna add now some adhesive on the back and just put it down. A lot of adhesive. And then I can put just a little dot of adhesive up here, and I can just glue it down with a little glue if I want to too. So I'm gonna have this come right up almost to the top, and of course centered, right? All right, there's our little background and our little basket. Let's add the bow. This is the pink one that we die cut. You could use a real bow, but I think these bows are just adorable. All right, I got messy hands, so hold on. I need a baby wipe. Have you guys made projects with this set yet? Anybody? Oh my, Lisa, that's so fancy. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, hold on one second. I'm having a wardrobe issue. Hi, Jolene. All right, so back to our basket. This little bunny's gonna go right here. So let's just add a little bit of adhesive since it's handy and put the little bunny right there. Isn't she cute? She is just adorable. We're gonna cut this little piece from the Stylish Shape in half. Look at, I've glued all these little pieces to my scissors. And I just cleaned my scissors finally too. Now they're stuck to my hand. And then we've got and we stamped on this. You can see I've got a little bit of magnet on the back. I use a magnet plate when I do it because I do a lot of die cutting for the classes. So I have to use a magnetic plate to make things fast. All right, so we're gonna kind of center these how we want them. on the back. Why my glue's taking a minute tonight. Maybe I'm just impatient. Let's just push that for a minute. Perfect. All right, so let's flip it around and see if we're straight. That looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, then we want to attach it, and I think I'm going to use, I'm going to put a couple little minis to just add a little bit right there. So let me get a couple minis out, because we've got a couple little layers. So let's put one here, one more. I picked up about 4 of them with my sticky fingers. Like this. And a little bit of adhesive across the top. And I'm going to have that come down just a little bit because I want most of the basket to show. So just like that. All right, let's pop this whole thing up on our card and we'll do the inside. I seem to be having trouble with dimensionals tonight. Right in the middle, whoops. All right, for the inside, we're gonna attach our little 4 by 3/4 inch strip, not with glue. Right side up. And then we'll add our, let's see if this is over by a little. It's pretty good, actually. Let's add this little bunny guy right here. And he wants to hold a carrot. So we'll just give him his cute little carrot. Flip him over. I ended up with an extra Easter egg, which I will save that for something else, or maybe I need it for another one of the projects. All right, easy, right? Okay, wait, embellishments, like, don't forget the embellishments, Laura, come on. So we have the 2024 to 2026 in colors. I'm still fighting with a piece of stuck paper on my fingers. See, aren't these embellishments cute? I did not use these, but these are just really cute. So the 2024 to 2026 in color dots, flat pearls. Beautiful sheen on them. I don't know if you can see how pretty these are. They come in each of the colors. Really beautiful. So we're going to use some of this one of each of the little ones. So I've got a peach pie, pretty in pink, and a shy shamrock. Let me take your pick tool and pick one of each of those up. And we're just going to place them pretty close to the Easter basket stuff. Okay, now we're done. Oh, Lisa, I didn't know you should wear fancy hats. That's a good idea, dressing up. Maybe I should bring a dress with. I didn't even think of that. You're one step ahead of me. So I need to wear a dress maybe, and I need a hat. Cool. All right, you guys, that is our first card for tonight. Nice and easy, simple card. It's just a lot of fussiness, right? But I like fussiness. That's my thing, is fussiness. All right, let's do this one. We do this fold a lot, but sometimes we do different shapes on it. This looks a little bit crooked to me. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix it. Different shapes, square, like all kinds of different shapes on the front of it. So it's gonna open up like this. All right, so this time we're using these arches, everyday arches dies. Okay, so here's the everyday arches. Again, if you get the kit from me this week, any of the shapes that aren't part of this bundle, I will die cut for you in your kit. Makes it nice and easy to come for you like that. And we'll talk about this in a minute, how you get them. But here are the pieces for this week's, this card, pardon me, this card right here. So this Z-fold card is super simple. We've done it many times before. The other thing, which I really haven't done much of, is you don't have to do it this way. You can do it this way and have the Z fold this way. So I should do that sometime. Anyway, this is half a sheet of cardstock, and this is 8.5 at 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then also scored at 2 1/8. So we're just going to fold this back. I agree, Lisa. Fussiness makes gorgeous cards. I love fussiness. Let's make it fancy. All right, so now we're using this piece of the designer series paper this time. And I have a 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to go right here in the inside. And then this front panel is 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. So let's put that down on our card base. Look at those little pieces, they're getting everywhere. So Shy Shamrock was never really one of my colors, but I like how it looks with this paper. All right, there we go for the good card base. Now we're going to build on this before we put it on, and hopefully I'm going to put this one on straight this time. And you know what, let's just put it on. So maybe I'm a better judge of it being straight. So I only want to do glue on this half, and then I'm going to line it up like right in the middle of the card, like this. All right, and there we go. It's only stuck to that part, and that opens and closes. So we're going to build our basket on that so we can start working on our basket. This is going to go on the inside of the card so we can write our sentiments. And I didn't do anything except put another little bunny there, the blue bunny inside. Nothing fancy, but it still looks cute. All right, so stamping and die cutting. I'm not going to bore you with all this again. So what we're going to stamp and die cut is one of the blue bunnies, is what I'm calling it. Hold on, something fell on me and then fell on the floor. I hope we didn't need it. I have a feeling we did need it. We'll see. The blue bunny is going to go on the inside. So we're going to stamp and color and die cut a blue bunny. This chocolate bunny, and all I did with this was I colored it in pecan pie to look like a little chocolate bunny. Let me show you. Here's the little stamp for that. Very cute, right? They thought of everything. 3 Easter eggs and 2 things of flowers. All right. And I took that designer series paper with like the little basket weave, and I just die cut the basket out of that, out of this little piece right here that you'll get in your card kit if you get it. Just die cut the basket. I'm not weaving anything, and I think it looks fine just the way it is. Just another easy way to use the basket. Die cut this little scallop thing out of Pretty in Pink. And then this we're just going to stamp on and just cut the edges with a little punch. All right. So let's get out the pieces for this one. Let me get rid of these that we don't need now. So here's our basket. Oh, why do I have a pink bunny? Did I get my bunnies mixed up? Hold on, hold please. What color am I going to need for my next card? Blue. Okay. Well, we have a pink bunny. Pink bunny's going to go in this card. All right, so pink bunny. Here's the little basket thing. Let's put that on right away. Okay, I didn't use grass on this one, but you can kind of see the things a little bit better. But here's what we're going to build on. We have 2 of the flowers. Here's our chocolate bunny and 3 Easter eggs. So let me get 3 of the Easter eggs. Okay, so pretty easy, pretty simple. Let's do the same thing we did before with our Easter basket. We want these flowers up kind of high. We're going to tuck our chocolate bunny in. Here's how he came out. And the shading, I just used 1 shade of pecan pie, and it was the dark. And then I just did a second layer to do a little bit of shading on the little chocolate bunny. So let's add just a little bit of glue on him and tuck him in our Easter basket. And then let's tuck some of our eggs in. Where's my tweezers? And one more. I probably should have put the bunny a little bit. Well, he's pretty stuck in there good now. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of this Easter egg. I don't know if I left enough room for my second Easter egg or not, but we'll just kind of put it on. I don't want to cover up the bunny's face, right? Because the chocolate Easter bunny's so cute. All right, there we go, just like that. All right, let's put it on the front of our card. Again, just I'm using seal. I'm going to add just a touch to the top. And the arch makes it look really nice, doesn't it? You have a nice arch that kind of somewhat mirrors the Easter basket handle. Whoops, that's kind of crooked. Come on. Okay, super easy. Let's do Happy Easter on our piece of... Hold on, please. I know I had it a minute ago, so that's 2 of them I lost, so at least one of them has to be on the floor. Let me see. Here it is. Happy Easter. Now, just to make the ends fancy, you can just cut them on a slant, make them straight. I took one of the punches, and this is a punch that's still available, and it's the Happy Labels punch, and it has 2 different designs, so I'm just going to take it and put it in here and just punch the ends off. Just a little scallop. I felt like, well, we're using scallops. Let's just do a scallop. And that's it. All right, let us put some dimensionals on. I really like this basket with just the basket weave. I think it's easy and fun. All right, so Happy Easter down here. All right, let's do the inside. So we're going to take this arch, and this one's a little bit smaller. This is the white cardstock one, so that's a size smaller, you can see. And we're going to do that for the inside right here. So what I want to do, let's put our adhesive on the back. And I like to line it up on this side first, so it's going to be covered up when we close it, and hopefully it's going to be straight and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to just fold this over and just lightly put it on. And if it looks like it's still straight, which I think it looks pretty good, then I'll press it down. Let's add a bunny on the inside. And it's nice to have it on this side because nothing's going to show out this side. I don't think. Nope. Look at it. It gets covered up really nicely. Okay, let's go back to the front and do a little bit of embellishment. We're going to take some basic rhinestone jewels and just fancy up our little liner. So I'm just going to use the small ones and put one on each scallop. That's fancy and pretty, right? And then let's use some of that gorgeous balmy blue gingham ribbon that's part of the suite and just get a bow so we can put a real bow on our Easter basket. Don't want it super big because it's not that big of a basket. Oh, wrong scissors. Oh, wow. Lisa, you have your Easter basket from when you were little? That's really special. I have a lot of, I have a lot of toys from when my kids were little, and I still have all of Nicole's American Girls stuff that she had, which is fun. And so, we have a kid's guest room here, like a kid's bedroom for like when, the family comes. That's like Emmeline's room right now. And so one of the things we had got from American Girl, which they don't make anymore, I'm going to use a glue dot, were they had these like little miniatures. They were almost like doll houses, but they were cubes. And so we have like a bedroom and a living room, and they were great because they were magnetic. You could put the stuff anywhere you wanted and rearrange the furniture. They had walls and floors and lights. So they light up like the little, you can hang a chandelier from the ceiling and lights up. So I have that set up in there. So when the kids come, they really love playing with that. All right. So there we go. Card number 2. Again, nice and easy. Cute for Easter, right? I love Easter cards. This set is just so much fun. All right, we're going to attempt to make this card. Do we think we can do it? I think we can do it. First, I need a drink of water, though. Okay, what we're going to use for this one, too, is I added these dies. And I love these dies. These are beautifully celebrated dies. I love a good concentric die. And I think it's the 3rd from the largest, that we're going to cut out in Pretty in Pink. And I will die cut that for you and send it to you in your kit, so you don't have to have this die set. Just the bundle. And so this card pops up. It's a pop-up slider card. And it just sits, it's almost like a little easel card too, because it can just sit on your desk. Now, this card, I knew what I wanted to make this week. I knew I wanted to do this card, but I had to find it and find out, how to do it. What are the measurements? How do you do it? So, and this you could write a sentiment. You could either stamp something, or you could do your writing up here that says, love mom and dad, or whatever you want to say up here. Okay. So anyway, I was looking on Pinterest, and I couldn't, all the ones I found were like people from the UK. So things were in centimeters and metric measurements. And I couldn't quite figure it out. And then I walked away from it. Like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll just do something simple. And then I came back to it, and finally I found a video from Kelly Atchison. Have you guys watched her? She's amazing. And her video was perfect and easy to follow. She did such a lovely job with the video. So I used her measurements, and a big thank you to her for that awesome video, so we could make this card. She didn't use Easter, she used something else, but obviously you can apply this to any set that you want. All right, so let's get our pieces out for this. And I'll go through the measurements. So we're starting with the card base. And the card base, we're going to have a front and a back. And this is going to be like a pocket. So this is a quarter sheet. This is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I use this DSP again. And then just a piece of basic white. All right. So we have that. Also, we're going to use, this is going to be for our stamping and die cutting, which we've already done. So I'll set that aside. This piece right here, basic white. This is 4 3/4 by 3 inches. This is going to be the part that's going to slide up, and you can see on our card, it's going to come all the way up to the top and down to here. Okay. And our border on this piece is going to be 3/4 on the sides, all sides. All right. So this is going to be the piece that pops up. All right. So we've got that side. These are all going to be for the die cutting and stamping. Here's the one that I'm die cutting for you. We'll put that aside. This is for the Easter basket again. This yellow, I did, the little ribbon stripes and a bow out of that. Ribbon stripes out of the Pretty in Pink and the Balmy Blue. And then I did another basket liner out of the Peach Pie. All right. So let's get the rest of our pieces out that we've already done. And also, I don't see the little piece of green. I've got to check that. Do I have the Shy Shamrock? Hold on, please, because if I didn't cut these right, I need a pencil. Let me add this to my list. Shy Shamrock. Because I'm using grass again. Okay, so here is our basket. We're going to weave this. So I have 3 pieces of ribbon, paper ribbon to put through. Here's our basket liner again. Here's our little piece of Shy Shamrock grass. Then I'm using a blue bunny, 1 bunch of flowers, and then 3 tulips, 1 of each color. Again, just very simple stamping and coloring, nothing fancy. So lemon lolly, pretty in pink, peach pie. This time I have a yellow bow for right here. I have 1 of the Easter eggs, and then we have this cute little chick too. And all I did was just color him in the lemon lolly with the beak, a little bit of peach pie. All right, so these are all of our pieces. So let's start with the weaving again of this. Man, it's hot in here. I've got a sweatshirt on and it's 88 out. Like, what is my problem? But it was cute, right? Little Easter bunnies. But now I'm regretting it. I'm like, and I turned the AC down to 73, so you would think, but these lights are hot. All right, so I'm going to put this at the top. And so that one just, now we want to go opposite with the next one. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to start underneath. And it just requires a little bit more bending of the paper. It's not hard, but it can be a little bit tight. So this is another way to do the weaving. All right, I'm going to slide that one up a little bit. And it's more of a tight weave now with both the paper going 2 different directions. It makes it really tight. All right, last one. We'll go more towards the middle and put it down so we can get this last one in here. I'm trying not to bend the paper too much because I don't want those like wrinkles in there. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining us. Whoa. All right, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. The last one's the hardest. I challenge you to put 4 colors in. We're doing it. We're almost to the end. One more. I think my nails are denting a few things here. I'll try and straighten it out. All right, that's it. We did it. Now these are going to stay in place pretty good, but I'm still going to add just a touch of glue on the ones that are sticking up on the sides. All right, let me just kind of try and get some of my nail wrinkles out of there. All right, so I'm just going to add a couple drops of glue to these. Boop. So I'm not going to be here next week because next week is the trip to Long Beach for Stampin' Up. So I'm excited about that. If anybody's going, leave me a comment. I love meeting people. We've got quite a bit. I think there's 19 or 20 people from Erica's group going. So that's quite a lot. So I'm excited. Can't wait. Not packed. Didn't finish my swaps. Not panicking yet. I'll panic later this week. Okay, let's build. Starting with the grass. Put the glue on the right side this time. Never been to Long Beach before, but the pictures look nice. I'm sure the weather in California is going to be a little bit cooler than here, which is going to be nice. I feel like California, a lot of places in California really have perfect weather all the time. We've got great weather right now, but you know what's coming, right? I mean, before you know it, it's going to be 95 every day, and we're going to be dying. Okay, so this time I have one of the flowers, so I'm going to put that kind of right in the middle. And then I thought I'd use some of the tulips because they just looked cool to do the tulips. So let's get, where's my pink one? It's all camouflaged in the paper. I love building these little baskets. You could just put all eggs in one too if you wanted to, or all eggs in a chocolate bunny. the possibilities are endless. I also saw in the catalog that they like cut this and made the top of the basket shorter, which looked pretty cool. If you don't have this much room on your card, you need something shorter. You could do a basket of puppies. We have those cute little, I don't know what the name of that set is with the little animals. Did that come out today, I think, in the online exclusives? Okay, there's our flowers. Sorry, I think I was working a little bit high up there with the... Okay, little chick. A little on the front, a little on the back. Look at how cute is that little chick just sticking out. Let's get our last little Easter egg attached. Slide that right in there. Okay, that's our basket this time. Oops. Stay there. I wanted that on the outside. There we go. All right. Adhesive, and we're going to just put it on top of here. So we'll have this all ready to stick on once we do the hard part. Does it look like I'm avoiding the hard part? Maybe. And I'm putting it like almost right to the bottom. It barely fits on here. In fact, I think I want to maybe cover up the bottom a little. I think I'm just gonna, let's see, does that look straight? Maybe it's straight. It's probably better to judge it this way. Okay, I'm just gonna snip off this little thing on the bottom because I don't really want that to show. Okay, so now we've got our basket. All right, let's do this part. Let me put all this stuff aside before it gets lost. All right, so we need to do the cutting of this. So I'm going to get out my trimmer. And like I said, we need a 3/4 inch border. So this is what I love about the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. It's just so convenient. So we're going to line it up to the 3/4 mark right here. We are going to start, see the little line on the trimmer? We're going to line that up with 3/4 right here on this ruler part right here. All right. And then we're going to go to 4 3/4 down here. Okay. We're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Line it up at 3/4 here. Go to the 3/4 mark right here. Go to the 4 3/4 mark down here. So that's our 2 side cuts. All right. Now, this is the pattern on the top. This is the bottom. We want to cut the bottom flap here. So we're going to go from here to here. So again, 3/4 inch this way. We want to line it up. And this time we're going to go for 3/4 again. But because it's shorter, let me get that right, we're going to go to 3 1/2. I think I'm there. I might have gone a little bit over. Okay, now we've got our flap. See that right there? Now we need to do some scoring. So we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to do 1 1/4. Let me just make sure I've got this right. 3 and 4 3/4 is 1 3/4. I think I want to do it the opposite way. Hold on. Please hold. I just want to measure this. This is 1 3/4. So we want to start with the flap on the bottom. And we want to do 1 1/4 here. So we're going to have, you can see where the line lines up, we're going to have a skinny flap down here. So you want to do the bottom first, all right? So, and again, we're going to go from 3/4. All the ones this way are going to be 3/4 on here to 3 1/2. All right? So we're just scoring to 3 1/2 and 3/4. Okay, the next one is going to be 3 inches. So move it down to 3 inches. Same thing, scoring from 3/4 to 3 1/2. All right, last one is going to go to 4 3/4, And that's going to bring us to 3/4 on the side here. So we're just going to score along the top, going from 3/4 to 3 1/2. Okay. All right. That was the hard part. We did it. So we are going to take, this is the bottom, remember, this part right here, and we're going to score that back this way. And then this one right here, we're going to fold this way, and this one back here. So we're kind of doing like a mountain and valley fold, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. Can you see how that is? It's folded this way. So we've got our 3 folds, one at the top, one kind of more in the middle, and then this little flap down here. All right. So we're good on that. All right. We are going to end up gluing these. You could use tear and type, you could use glue, and I just want to glue these together. This piece then is going to go through the top, and it's just going to slide. Now, if you wanted to stamp, now is probably the time to do the stamping with this if you would like to. I mean, you can put this together in different ways. What I did was I glued it and then put this in, and then I stamped on the inside. So let's do that. So I'm just going to add a bead of glue on 3 sides. And I want to stay close to the edge, so I have enough room for the slider part on the inside. And let's get this lined up exactly. Good, I think that looks good. Let that dry for a minute. Okay, then we have these 2 pieces together. We want to cut a little notch out for here. Now you can use a bigger circle punch if you have one. You'll just get a little bit wider of a notch. I like to use this one, which is the, this is a, I have to measure it every time because I can't remember. I think it's a 1 inch. It's a 1 inch punch. Not Stampin' Up. So I'm just going to flip this over and see if I can find the middle, approximate the middle. You know what? Let's put a little dot. Let me measure this. And this will be right about here. And I'm going to cut that out so no one's going to see it. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to punch that out. All right. Hopefully that's kind of sort of straight. Time will tell when we line everything up. So this is going to go right inside, and it's going to slide down, and you can see it's going to end up being right at the edge right here. All right. So once that's lined up, I'm going to take this and glue it down, and it's going to be glued down right to the edge right here. As a matter of fact, so you can see better, I'm going to pull this up a little bit, and I'm just going to glue this part right here right to the edge, right like that. Okay. So let me add a little bit of glue here and just line it up to the bottom edge of this paper, this white cardstock. And I'm just going to hold that for a minute. Set straight. All right, let's let that dry for a second. Okay, so what I decided to stamp on the inside of mine was Easter's on its way. So let me get that out. Easter's on its way. Where are you? Here we are. Okay, this I think is pretty dry, so I'm going to slide this up. And then I'm going to stamp here and hopefully not ruin the whole card by stamping poorly. There we go. All right, so let's finish building the rest. Now, at the top here, like I said, you could either stamp something or write something right up here now. I feel like my things aren't exactly straight, like they're a little bit more to the side, but it's okay. All right, so we want to be able to have something else. Now, you could just leave it like this if you wanted to, and you could just pull like that. And I think I glued it just a little bit off because it's like not exactly even on the top. And I can trim that if I would like to. Do you think I can trim in a straight line? I don't know. I could be ruining the whole card right here. But I don't like that sticking up. The nice thing is you can always make adjustments when you're doing stuff, right? Okay, so you could also use your hole punch and do a little punch in here and kind of do like when we did last week when we did this card right here, and we did a hole and then we just looped the ribbon through with like a little slip knot. You could do that if you wanted to. What I did is I just took some of this balmy blue ribbon and I'm just going to cut a piece of this off. And then I actually did a little bit of gluing of this. So I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to add a staple. And I just don't have the coordination to hold it and staple it straight. Just don't. I just do not. Got a little piece of glue there. So I'm just gluing it down a little bit just so I can get my stapler in there and staple it. So I'm going to staple it like this. Okay, now we've got a staple. But you still have to be careful because the staple is wider than the ribbon. So if you pull too hard, you're just going to pull the ribbon out from the staple. And ask me how I know that, right? Yeah. So that happened. Let me just straighten this out just a little bit more. Okay, let's trim up our ribbon so it's a little bit shorter. Okay, so there we go. We have our mechanism in place. Let's slide it back down. Now, we have this piece right here that's ready to go on. We just want adhesive on the halfway. See how we're scored right here? We just want to put our adhesive on this part right here. And I'm just going to use some of this adhesive like this. Very important for this part. Now I'm going to flip it up a little bit. And then I can place it exactly where I want it. I want the basket bottom to be down at the fold right there. And make sure this is straight as much as it can be. And then press it down. Okay. Let's add our bunny while we've got it here. Right like that. Cute little bunny. And this time I used a yellow bow. I could have put the gingham, but I already had the gingham up here. That's why I didn't do that. So I went with another like die cut bow. Okay, so there's a lot going on with this card. So for embellishments, all I did was just take some rhinestones and just add it to the middle of the flowers. And you could color them if you want. I just left them, you know, just plain and sparkly. So I'm just going to add to the middle of the rhinestones. And you can do this for all your flowers if you want to on all the cards. We tuck underneath our little birdie. Okay. All right, that's it. We did it, right? That's the whole card. There we go. It works fine. Easter's on its way. You can set those up. Easy, right? If you just do the cutting, it's super easy. Okay, let's go on to our last thing. By the time I made these, I was looking for an easy. Often I'm looking for an easy box or something, right? So what I did was I stole my go-to box right now. And so one of the reasons I went with this box is because I was looking for Easter treats. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I bought about 4 different Easter treats. So I bought like the Hershey's bunnies. I bought little... I got some of these Hershey's bunnies, so you could put these in the box. They fit nicely, right? I got some bunny Kit Kats. I got these gummies. These are Peeps gummies, and these are really quite good. You can put these in a little cello bag, and these will fit nicely in the box too. So, you know, use, you know, whatever candy of choice that you have. What I ended up going with was these Easter basket cakes because I just thought they were just really pretty with the Easter colors, right? And so, yeah, I know we've done this project before, but again, nice and easy. I have to tell you, it was really funny because we were having dinner Sunday night, and I said to my husband after dinner, I said, what's for dessert? And he said, I'm sure you can find something. He said, you're running, he said, you have a craft factory. No, he said, upstairs, I'm sure you can find something. Upstairs, you have, you're running a snack factory. That's what he said. You're running a snack factory. And he wouldn't be wrong. I am running a snack factory up here. There are snacks everywhere for these projects, right? So, so I came upstairs and found myself some dessert, for sure. Okay, easy breezy box. Here's the pieces for this. And by the way, if you guys would like to get all the things to make this pre-cut cardstock kit to make these 3 cards in this box this week, just spend $50 or more in my Stampin' Up store before discounts or tax, and I'll just send it to you for free, right? Nice and easy. You get it for free. You can make it. You need the bundle to make it because you have to stamp and die cut your own pieces for that. But the other shapes, like all these shapes, I've already die cut them for you. You've got all the cardstock, the paper I'm sending you, so it makes it nice and easy if you want to make some Easter projects. If you don't want to order from me, you can just purchase them from me for $22. Just email me at sunshineandsparklestamping@gmail.com. Say, I want to purchase this week's Make and Takes, and I will invoice you for $22 and then send them to you in the mail. So that's how we do that. So this box, we are starting with a piece of pretty and pink cardstock. This is 8 1/4 by 7 1/2. So on the short side, which is this side, it's hard to tell, right? This is the 7 1/2 side right here. You are going to score it at 1 1/4 and 6 1/4. All right. So 1 1/4 from each side. All right. Then turn it around this way. And then you are going to score it at 1 1/4, 3 1/4, 5. You can barely see it right here. Here's the other fold. So it's 1 1/4, 3 1/4, 5, and 7 1/2. All right. And that divides it into 5 different sections. Okay. I will pre-score this for you in the kit. So it'll already come scored for you. Where did I find the gummies? I think I found them at our grocery store, Lisa. We have H-E-B here in Texas. I'm just going to go ahead and burnish all these score lines. Then we'll do a little bit of cutting. I never saw those before, and they are quite delicious. I also bought Peeps. Yeah, so I have Peeps too, but the package was kind of big, and I wanted the bunnies, but when they shopped for me, I used, you know, Instacart or something. They got the chicks instead of the bunnies, and I was like, well, I don't want to use chicks, I want to use the bunnies. So yeah, I have that in the snack factory as well. Okay. So this is how our box is going to go. This is going to be the lid because this is the skinny side. So it's going to be folded over like this. These are going to be the sides. All right. So on these short sides, this is the part we want to cut. So we're just going to cut in on each score line on this side. And then when we get to the skinny part right up here, I'm going to cut this one on an angle because I want the top of my box to be kind of angled. All right, so let's go back on this side and do this side on the score lines too. Then we're going to clean it up just a little bit. Okay, again, this is going to be the top front of our box, so we're going to cut it off like that. Okay, now these are going to be, this is going to be the top of our box, like I said. I don't want these to be so big, so I'm going to cut these in half on both sides and make this side pretty too. Okay, for the flap. So again, cut this part in half and cut inside for the flap. I think we can cut both sides inside, right? So let's do the other side a little bit inside too. Okay, now, so you can see now how our top's going to be. This is going to be our top when we fold everything up. It's going to fold over like this. So we're going to fold in these sides. So what I want to do on these sides is just the outsides. I'm just going to miter a little bit and cut the corners on this one and the one over here on the end. All right, let's flip it over and do the other side. You can miter all the corners as you want, if you want, but I'm just doing the two like top ones. These are going to be the top. Okay, let me get rid of all this mess. Okay, so this is what we have when we're finished, okay? This is what it looks like. So we're going to do a little bit of gluing. This piece and this piece are going to be on the inside, so this is where we're going to put our glue. Oh, Lisa, I do. Yes, 100%. I still have some of the lamb kits available. I will invoice you for that. Thank you. Okay, this is going to get folded up, and the flat side's going to go down. So I'm just tucking these sides in. And I like to keep the other one not mitered so it's nice and flat. So I have a nice, can you see how it makes a nice square at the bottom? And then I don't have any rough edges sticking up over here. So that's kind of why I did that. I'm just going to hold this for a second. Go to the other side. And again, these lay down nice and flat to make a nice rectangular box. And I'm going to hold this for a minute. Super easy, right? That's our box right there. Just like that. Let's put our cakes in here. I'm going to tuck this side in to close it. And there we go. That's our box ready to be decorated. Okay? All right. Hold on. Let me do my sleeves up because, like I said, I'm getting really hot. All right. So here's our other pieces. We have a small piece of basic white for our stamping and die cutting. And, oh, wait a second. I was like, how can I be out of pieces? I put them underneath. All right, so we did a blue bunny, 2 eggs, a bunch of flowers, and we die cut a piece of grass, okay? And again, I forgot the grass. Hold on, hold please. Let me put Shy Shamrock. Oh no, I did put the Shy Shamrock. I just didn't actually cut it. Okay, oh here it is. I did. I'm cool, so cut your grass out of that. Okay, so there's those pieces. I've pre-cut the shapes. So I have 2 of the textured notes, and we're just going to layer these right on top of each other. I like how you have 2 different textures there to layer these up. And then I have another style of shapes out of Lemon Lolly, the label die, and we're going to do the same thing we did before and cut it in half. So let's put these pieces together, and then we'll build our little scene on this. How are we doing on time? We're about where we usually are, aren't we? Okay. I'm taking this on the back, and I'm just adding, just for interest, a little bit of the little lemon lolly sticking out. So I'm gluing this to the back, and then I'm going to flip it over to make sure that things look kind of sort of even. Okay, there we go. Nice and easy. Let's take our grass, and we're just going to put it at the bottom of our little frame thing that we made here. I'm going to put it all the way over to the side because our bunny is going to be on the right. So I don't need it to go all the way across. All right, let's tuck some flowers behind before everything gets dry. Like that. Let's stamp the For You before I glue everything down and have to start over. All right, where is the For You? Put it on a little one. I love a good For You or To You stamp, especially for little gifts. All right. There we go. All right, a couple of Easter eggs. Why doesn't my grass want to stick? All right, we need another Easter egg. Let's put our, well, we can put the egg on. I was going to say let's put the egg on, the bunny on first, but okay. How did I get black? I'm going to have to use my little eraser to get that off. All right, let's pop up the bunny. And then we're just going to add our other pieces of DSP to kind of decorate the box up, and we're going to add a little bit of ribbon. So here's our bunny right here. So this is ready to go on the top. Let's next put on our pieces of DSP. So this is the one that's the Easter egg, and let me just go through the measurements really quick for this. So this is the Easter Joy DSP. We have 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. Then we have 2 pieces of 4 3/4 by 1 inch. Then we have another piece of 4 3/4 by 1/2 inch. Then I have 2 pieces of 2 1/4 by 1. All right, so let's glue everything on except for the last piece because I want to put the ribbon underneath it. All right, so this one goes on the front. Come on, I'm just really not doing good with the glue tonight, am I? I don't have the patience for glue. So let's, I can't wait that 1 second for it to dry. What can I say? We'll just use a little bit of our seal. These go on the sides. Now this last little piece is just a 1/2 inch piece. This is going in the front. So I'm going to have it right about here, but I want to cut off a little bit, make the angle kind of match. So I'm just going to line it up and just make my, just like that. All right, next let's take some ribbon and get this piece on. Okay, let's take some ribbon. Let me tuck this back in. We're going to use the gingham ribbon again, and this is how we'll keep our box closed, and then they can just untie and retie the ribbon if they want to. So let's get a long enough piece, tie a bow, and we want it to go in the front like this. All right, trim that up. Let's put this last piece on top. Sorry, the camera. Like this. All right, and it's kind of holding our ribbon in place, so when they untie it, the ribbon doesn't fall on the floor. It's still attached to the lid. All right, this piece we're just going to put down flat. So I'm just going to, again, just use some seal and put it on the top. Now, I felt like there was a lot of stuff going on with this one, too. It's kind of busy, so I didn't add any embellishments, but you could if you wanted to. Put something here. There's some spots for embellishments. All right, but there's our super easy Easter box. I promise next time I'll be more original. I won't do a box again. I will figure something else out that's cute. Because I think we're probably all getting bored with this box, but it serves its purpose, right? Renee, you're so sweet. All right, you guys, I want to see, did I miss anything? Okay. Oh, okay, going back to read some of the comments. Good. All right, whoa, you guys, what's wrong with me? Here's our projects for tonight. So we did this cute little Easter on its way card. We did our little Z Fold Happy Easter card. We did our fun pop-up slider card. And then we did our Easter boxes. So I think that's a fun collection, nice and colorful of Easter projects. Thank you guys for joining me as I made these projects tonight. I always appreciate you guys watching so much. If you want the measurements for this, they'll be in the email tomorrow if you're on my email list. I always send a copy of the video, picture of the projects, and then the project and measurement sheet. So you have all the measurements for your project so you can recreate it if you'd like. Paper Pumpkin is always till March 10th. We've got the Fluttering Garden. Oh, thanks for the hearts, you guys. That's so sweet. And that's it. Paper Pumpkin if you want it. You guys, again, I won't see you next week because that's the Stampin' Up trip, but I will be back. I think the week I come back, that Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day, and I can't be here that day because I've got a meeting. So I'm probably going to do Wednesday that following week, like the 18th will probably be the next time that I do a class. All right. You guys have a great rest of the week. Thanks for joining me. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye, everybody.